This is a 1922, I think, Detroit Electric. There are several electric cars made. Detroit is one of the brands, and then they had Baker and so on. But they had this enormous battery that's in here. It is a 84 volt big wooden battery. It'd take 2 or 3 men to lift it. And the car would come with that battery, and then it came with a big charger, and they would mount the charger on the wall of the garage. So when the lady came home, she'd drive the thing in the garage, close the door, and this big cable come down and plugged into a hole right down here. And that's where and then they just leave it, and by the next day, the battery is fully charged up, and they could go approximately 25 miles, and the top speed is about 25 miles an hour. But they're completely silent. And the women liked them because there was no oil or grease or anything like that. And so now to make it run, we have to have 84 volts, so you take 7 12-volt batteries like this. Now I'll put this down, and that's the way it looks. They steer with a tiller. In other words, that's a stick. And then above the tiller here, they have another little tiller thing, and it has about 7 notches on it when you move it. And the first notch is real slow, and up to the 7th one, you're going wide open in it, so to say. And if you want to go backwards, you step a little thing on the floor, and when you step on that, now everything is in reverse, so you can go back as fast as you went front, so you have to be real careful driving the thing or it'll get away from you. And since it's so quiet, you have to get used to it because you want to apply the brakes all the time because can't figure out what makes you uphill or downhill. It just keeps going. And then the cushions in here are arranged so that, or seating, so that the woman or whoever's driving it sits behind the tillers, and there's room for 1 more person or maybe 2, and you're sitting in the back seat, so to say, driving front. And then in the front corner here, you have another seat, and over in that corner, you have a little, where that little doll is, there's another seat, so you could really put up a little card table in here and conceivably play cards going down the road. And the speedometer and so on, instead of oil gauge and all that sort of thing, you have a ammeter that tells the condition of the battery and the voltage. You got to have 84 volts, less than that, and it won't go full speed or anything. This is the tiller, and it'll go front or back, and that'll make the wheels go. Then this one is you can put these up in the air so that you can sit down easy. Once you're in there, you pull them down. And this one is the throttle, and you can hear the different things. And then on the floor, I don't know if you see this pedal or not, but there's a pedal you step on, and that'll be reversed. It'll go backwards. And I'll show you one of these. It has vases for flowers that mount like up here. And these are cut glass. They're pretty fancy. You get up to see them close. They got brass holder and stuff. Then the glass in the corners is bent glass. I hate to try to replace them. And then that awning out in front of over the windshield, that's red glass, and so out in the sun and stuff, it looks pretty nice. And all this upholstering in here is original, and it's a blue.
How'd you come by this car?
Well, I went with a man down to Cedar Rapids. A man down there was a retired lawyer, and he'd been educated in Northwest University. And he had all these cars, and to get rid of them, he was old and stuff, so he just gave them all to the university. So the university had auctioneers out there and so on, right there in Cedar Rapids. And the man I rode down with wanted to buy this car, so I asked him, what he planned on paying. Well, he could pay as much as $5,000. Well, the opening bid was more than that. So he wasn't interested anymore, so I bought it.